Every prescription passes through a hidden machine. Patients see a copay, but behind the counter, money is shuffled through rebates, spreads, and secret contracts. The pharmaceutical middleman is the PBM, or pharmacy benefit manager. It sits between drugmakers, insurers, pharmacies, and patients, controlling access and pricing. On paper, PBMs claim to lower costs. In practice, they often profit from the gap between what they charge and what they pay. The key mechanism is the rebate. Drugmakers pay PBMs for preferred placement, and those payments can change who gets covered and who gets punished. That is not competition. It is institutional design that rewards volume, leverage, and secrecy, while the real price signal gets buried. Rebate contracts are often confidential. Employers and patients rarely see the full terms, creating a system where hidden ledgers drive public costs. The structure encourages opacity. If nobody can see the true net price, then nobody can tell whether the middleman saved money or extracted it. PBMs control formularies, the lists that decide which drugs are easy to get and which require extra hurdles, delays, or denials. That power creates leverage. Drugmakers pay to stay on the list, while patients face prior authorization, step therapy, and confusing coverage rules. The list price rises first, then rebates arrive later. This gap lets PBMs and plans claim discounts while patients may still pay the inflated front-end price. Spread pricing can widen the gap further. The PBM charges the plan one amount, reimburses the pharmacy less, and keeps the difference. That difference is not a small clerical detail. It is a hidden margin, built into the system, and protected by complex billing architecture. Employers fund the plan, but often cannot verify the economics. They pay premiums, yet the rebate flow remains buried inside opaque administration. Timing matters. Rebates are paid later, after utilization is locked in, giving PBMs time to steer demand toward drugs with bigger payouts. That creates a perverse incentive. A higher rebate does not always mean a lower total cost, because the rebate may be tied to a higher starting price. In plain terms, a drug can become more expensive and still look cheaper after rebates. The public sees savings theater, not the full ledger. This is where regulatory capture enters. Oversight struggles when the same firms write the rules, interpret the rules, and profit from the rules. The result is not one single scam, but a system of systemic flaws. Each layer makes the next layer harder to see, and harder to challenge. Patients are trapped inside that maze. They are told the system is complex, but complexity can also be a business model. Every extra rule adds friction. Friction pushes some people to abandon treatment, and that abandonment quietly protects the pricing structure. Transparency would threaten the model. If net prices were visible, employers could compare bids, demand pass-through, and expose inflated spreads. Instead, PBMs often sell themselves as negotiators. But negotiation only works when both sides see the same numbers, and here they usually do not. Drugmakers accept the arrangement because access matters. A preferred formulary position can mean millions in sales, even if the rebate cuts into margin. That is why the industry tolerates the rebate machine. Everyone wants volume, and the middleman monetizes the route to volume. Employers, especially self-funded ones, often discover too late that rebates never fully offset rising premiums. The cost gets redistributed, not truly eliminated. For families, the result is brutal. They pay at the pharmacy counter first, then wait for a system that may never return the savings. Congress has investigated PBMs for years, yet reform moves slowly. The reason is simple: the money is powerful, and the structure is deeply embedded. Each actor blames another. That diffusion of responsibility protects the architecture, because no single firm appears fully responsible for the final bill. Meanwhile, data stays fragmented. Hidden ledgers and proprietary claims files make it hard for outsiders to trace where every dollar actually lands. When investigators do trace the flow, they often find fragmented fees, back-end rebates, and contractual carve-outs that erase accountability. The public is told this is efficient market behavior. But efficiency without transparency can become extraction dressed up as coordination. The deeper scandal is structural. The system rewards opacity, rewards delay, and rewards every participant who can capture value without appearing to raise price. That imbalance is why reform is so difficult. Any serious fix would force disclosure, pass-through pricing, and limits on conflicts of interest. But institutions resist redesign. When a business model depends on secrecy, even modest transparency feels like an existential threat. PBM rebates are not just a pricing quirk. They are a case study in regulatory capture, hidden margins, and an industry built to obscure the truth. Subscribe for more.